reinforcements in the outbreak's epicenter.
If you don't have a health care crisis in your community, please come help us in New York now.
The U.S. Navy ship Comfort pulls in, and that massive field hospital in Central Park opens to patients this morning. All this as experts worry about the new hotspots about to take off. From Dallas to Miami, Detroit, and Philadelphia, the commander of the Army Corps of Engineers leads the race to build makeshift hospitals all across the country. He joins us live.
Also this morning, a closer look at the crisis on the front lines. Those hero doctors and nurses fearing for their lives as they try to save others, forced to distance themselves from their own families.
Okay, but I can't get close to you. Let me go change, okay?
Quarantine crackdowns. A Florida pastor arrested after preaching to a room full of people on Sunday. The new penalty this morning nationwide on those refusing to stay at home.
New signs of hope. Wuhan, China starts to reopen. Italy begins to turn the corner. And officials in Seattle say the stay-at-home orders are working. What they're now seeing as a new test that can give results in 5 minutes starts rolling out today.
The new FBI warning. So many people using Zoom for work and school, but is it safe and secure? What to know about your privacy.
And sports fans rejoice. The big announcement about one of the most highly anticipated series ever featuring Michael Jordan and the championship Bulls. The new release date, the never-before-seen footage, first here on GMA.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
Good morning, America. It's great to have you with us this morning. I am happy to be here with Amy, and both Robin and George are coming to us from their homes. And good morning, guys.
Good morning, Michael. Yeah, I'm broadcasting from home right now. Allie has developed some symptoms, so she's upstairs resting right now. But while she's recovering, as she goes through this, I'm going to be broadcasting from home, and we'll be working as long as we can here.
Well, we all, of course, are thinking of Allie, and you're right where you're supposed to be there, George. So we appreciate that. Amy?
Yeah, we certainly are, George. Wishing Allie the very best.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of developments to get to, though. Here we are following this morning cases of the coronavirus in the U.S. still climbing rapidly, now topping 164,000. And the capital region now virtually shut down as Maryland, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. impose new stay-at-home orders.
Look, the U.S. Navy hospital ship Comfort has officially arrived in New York. The 1,000-bed facility will care for non-coronavirus patients, relieving overburdened hospitals. The Army Corps of Engineers also stepping in to help. In a moment, we're going to speak live with their commander. But first, Tom Yama starts us off on the west side of Manhattan, where that Navy ship is right now. Good morning, Tom.
Robin, good morning to you. This massive ship behind me will likely be providing a lot more than comfort. It will ease the pressure of so many hospitals across the city and likely save a lot of lives. This, as New York is being very clear, they not only need hospitals like this, they need manpower, frontline healthcare workers.
This morning, as the death toll mounts and healthcare staff are pushed to the brink, Governor Andrew Cuomo issuing an SOS call.
As governor of New York, I am asking healthcare professionals across the country, if you don't have a healthcare crisis in your community, please come help us in New York now.
Some have answered that call. This field hospital in Central Park set to start seeing COVID-19 patients today. ESPN reporting the U.S. Tennis Association will start using the home of the U.S. Open in Flushing, Queens to add 350 temporary hospital beds and prepare 25,000 meals per day for patients, volunteers, and school children. This as the U.S. Navy's hospital ship, the Comfort, sailed past Lady Liberty, docking on New York's west side. 1,000 hospital beds ready to care for overflow patients not infected with the coronavirus. But the ship's big arrival also brought some big crowds, a violation of the social distancing rules.
These last few weeks,
Mayor Bill de Blasio saying while officials are seeing overwhelming compliance, they will begin ticketing violators.
The police and all our agencies are authorized to use fines. We've given enough warning, enough education.
With cases surging across the country, some doctors projecting the next hotspots will be cities like Dallas, Miami, Detroit, Boston, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. In Maryland, cases skyrocketing 400% in just the last week. Governor Larry Hogan issuing a stay-at-home executive order saying violators will be charged with a misdemeanor, punishable with up to a year in prison or a $5,000 fine.
In 2 weeks' time, the D.C., Maryland, and Virginia areas could look like New York and the tri-state area.
And the nation's top health officials warning not to ignore the deadly virus. Cases will emerge and they will multiply.
When you look at all of the states together, all of them are moving in exactly the same curves. And so that's why we really believe this needs to be federal guidance, so that every state understands that it may look like 2 cases today that become 20, that become 200, that become 2,000.
In the wake of criticism that mass testing took too long, the president now touting 1 million Americans have been tested. And at the White House, unveiling a new testing device whose makers, Abbott Laboratories, say it will deliver a positive result in 5 minutes. This as the Ford Motor Company is working to produce 50,000 ventilators in the next 100 days. Families grieving the loss of their loved ones, like Alana Dixon McAllister, whose 47-year-old husband, Bruce, died Saturday in a Reno hospital from complications with coronavirus.
I went through like the range of emotions of being sad to being pissed off, and I couldn't even be there to hold his hands in his last moments.
The avid 49ers fan leaving behind their 10-year-old son. Alana, who was also tested positive for the virus, says she thinks her husband may have been infected on a flight he took to New York earlier this month. Despite so much uncertainty, a ray of hope for that family from Missouri, whose 5 members came down with the virus, including 63-year-old matriarch Jane Winehouse and her husband Mike, who this morning is now home from the hospital.
He is going to be coming home with oxygen. My mom continues each and every day to progress. So slowly but surely, they are expecting full recoveries for both of them.
The deadly virus continues to hit seniors particularly hard. We're learning of a cluster of cases at a veterans home in western Massachusetts. Several people have died, and at least 5, George, have tested for the virus. George?
Such a tough situation. Okay, Tom, thanks very much. We now want to bring in the man spearheading the effort to build these sites all across the country, these makeshift hospitals all across the country, Lieutenant General Todd Semonite. General Semonite, thank you for joining us this morning, and thank you for your service. Just give everyone a sense right now the scope of the mission you're facing.
So, George, first of all, on behalf of all of us in the Department of Defense, I mean, our thoughts and prayers go out to all the people that are affected by this, so many different families, and we're just so committed to be part of this national team to be able to try to mitigate this in any way possible. The scope is immense, and there's really 3 different aspects of this. There's a shortage of sites or facilities, or that's what we're going to talk about today. Clearly, there's a shortage of supplies, and then there's a potential shortage of staff. So we're trying to work the facility piece, and we're looking right now at around 341 different facilities across all of the United States, very similar to the Javits Center. We've got 8 contracts under gear right now, people in centers constructing facilities, probably about 8,500 beds, and then by the end of the day, we should have another 5 contracts awarded with somewhere around another 4,000 beds. We don't know where this is going to go. This is a state and local decision, but what the Corps wanted to do is to come up with an option, so if we could be able to mitigate this delta in some way, we're able to find a solution that states could employ.
So when you're called in to retrofit a dorm, a hotel, take us inside that. What exactly happens? How do you do it?
So you talked a little bit before coming in about the tent that's out there in Central Park. Think about establishing something on, green grass. That's awful hard. You got to bring electricity in, water, all the utilities. Our concept, and when Governor Cuomo called us about 2 weeks ago, Secretary McCarthy from the Army said, get to New York and find out a solution. Our thought was make it extremely simple. Find an existing facility that already has all the codes, has heat, has water, has IT, has parking lots, and then just put in whatever we can, like a hospital, inside of that. two big type of thoughts. One is hotels and dormitories. We're doing a lot of those. The other one is large, big open spaces, field hospitals and convention centers. And then us working side by side with the team, and it is a federal state team, HHS, FEMA, we go in and either put in temporary hospitals, we'll build rooms inside there, but the ability to be able to build out an existing facility. That's like Javits right now. We started out and basically got that a couple of days ahead of time and brought that in with about 2,900 rooms that non-COVID people could be treated in. There's two types of facilities. COVID is one kind, and that's a little bit more complicated with the pressure, and then there's non-COVID, very similar to what you're seeing in the comfort ship that's up there now.
How do you stay ahead of the curve? Where do you expect to be next?
The biggest thing probably is modeling, and we're taking a lot of guidance from vice president task forces. We're looking at some amazing analytics to be able to figure out where do we see the growth of the threat being more than anywhere else, and then where do we see the bed shortage. So I've got a bunch of engineers in a back room who are looking at where do we see us having big shortages 2 or 3 weeks. I've got 43 different commanders and an unbelievable amount of technicians, my civilians, who are talking to governors, mayors, saying, we anticipate you're going to have a shortage. What is your solution? And here's some potential options. So it's the ability to array a standard solution that is vetted at the national level, but then decentralize. And what we've got to do here, George, is we've got to be able to come up with a minimum essential. We don't have time for the perfect solution. We've got to be able to cut to the chase and get this ahead of need.
And General, do you all have everything you need right now?
I think we do. I think the biggest single thing is we've got to be able to make sure that decision makers at local and state levels really have to be able to probably think about what is worst case. And I'd much rather, take the time to convert a facility. And if it's not used in 4 weeks, it's going to be okay. But what the worst thing we want to do is to be able to have, the supply taken care of and the staff taken care of, and yet we have ambulances with nowhere to go. So that's where the Corps is really trying to step up on behalf of FEMA to try to be able to mitigate this amazing delta.
And we know you are on top of it. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for your time this morning. Thanks, General.
Hey, George, thanks an awful lot for having us on. And our numbers are going to change every single day. So I'd love to have you out on the ground. You got to see what this is like and the passion of this team to be able to step up for America and make things happen.
We will do it. Thank you, General. Michael?
And they are doing a great job, George. And the Army Corps of Engineers are trying to help all those healthcare workers on the front lines who are battling not only a shortage of supplies, but also time away from their families. Take a look at this cover of the New Yorker magazine showing that challenge. Doctors in the trenches saying goodnight to their children from their phones. Matt Gutman joined us from Los Angeles with more on what they're facing. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, Michael, good morning. That image is so gutting, but not only because doctors and nurses are being separated from their families, but because they fear tracking the virus home to them. That is, we're hearing about more frontline medical workers exposed to the virus, getting sick from it, or dying.
I love you.
I love you too.
Never did I ever think that I was going to be on the front lines fighting a war.
They made an oath to save lives, but now they're losing their own. The virus-killing ICU nurse Araceli Buendia-Illegan with devastating speed.
Her husband told us that he just saw her on the floor.
She'd mentored her niece, Joanna, who is also an ICU nurse in England.
How do you feel going back to work? What does that make you think about?
Well, to be honest, I'm terrified for my life, because especially what happened to my aunt.
In Ohio, roughly 20% of all cases are healthcare workers. Many feel contagion is inevitable.
Knowing that you're going to get corona is kind of like this looming thing over your head. I know I'm going to get it.
Dr. Cornelia Griggs, who's been working with COVID patients in New York City, tweeting this message to her children. My babies are too young to read this now. If they lose me to COVID, I want them to know Mommy tried really hard to do her job.
I was just on call for 72 hours straight, and I feel obligated in this moment in time to give them a glimpse, not just inside the hospital in a way that still protects patient privacy, but inside the mind of healthcare workers.
And through it all, they give everything. Nurses like Carly Rice in Georgia. setting up a FaceTime call with a dying patient's family who were not allowed in the ICU.
I had about 3 people on the other side. They were actually sitting in the parking lot.
On the other end of the line, Vinicia Toved, the patient's granddaughter.
Nurse Carly grabbed Grandma's hand, and Grandma started to squeeze her hand. I started to say, well, I love you, I'm gonna miss you. Nurse Carly is amazing. The world needs tons of Nurse Carlys.
You couldn't fix it, but you certainly gave the family maybe a little bit of peace.
I hope so. I really do. I pray about it a lot, but it still wears you down.
Those final moments spent alone weighing heavily on these workers like Lindsay Burrell.
And they're dying alone in a hospital room without family, and then their families are grieving alone.
And for Burrell, even getting home to her children is fraught.
The best moment is when I get home to see these little monkeys. Hi.
We can't touch her, remember?
How's your day? Good. Okay, but I can't get close to you. Let me go change, okay? I missed you boys so much. I love you.
Now, I spoke to that nurse, Lindsay, last night, and she said she's actually been trying to take advantage of what she is calling the calm before the storm. She says this is the quiet part, and in fact, we are at the very beginning of a surge here in California. The number of ICU cases has tripled just since the weekend. Amy.
Well, they are heroes, though, each and every one of them. Matt Gutman, thank you for bringing those stories to us. Well, now to new privacy concerns for Zoom. The FBI is issuing a new warning about the platform that so many of us are using to stay connected while working or going to school from home. And Rebecca Jarvis has the very latest on these new concerns. Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning, Amy. Yeah, and this app, Zoom, has become one of the most popular out there because of its video conferencing feature. It's the most popular app for iPhones right now, and a number of schools are using the app for teleteaching. But now the FBI is warning about Zoom bombing. That is when an outsider comes in and hijacks a conversation. The Massachusetts FBI authorities have now seen this happen in a couple of schools where an outsider came in, shouted a teacher's name and home address in the context of a conversation that was supposed to be a classroom. And Amy, the FBI is warning people to be vigilant. There's also some privacy questions now out there about Zoom. Zoom says that it will be working tirelessly to resolve these issues, and they also have some recommendations for users this morning.
Yeah, that is so frightening. We know so many of us are using that in our own homes. Rebecca, thanks for that. Robin, over to you.
Yeah, using it, so I was listening very intently. Thank you both. And this morning we have a beautiful sign of solidarity. Want to take a look at this. The Empire State Building in New York City lit up in red and white. The building's owners announcing it will shine in those colors throughout the battle against coronavirus to represent the, quote, heartbeat of America and honor the heroic emergency workers on the front lines of that fight. That is a beautiful sight to see, don't you think?
Yeah, that is beautiful indeed,
It
Robin.
sure is, and we are just seeing, we're seeing that army of heroes rise up all across the country right now. So critical, and we are grateful to all of them.
Yeah, we are certainly grateful
Certainly
indeed.
are.
Coming up, quarantine crackdown. The Florida pastor now under arrest after refusing to stop holding large gatherings. But first.
Well, this last day of March is going to be quite chilly, especially compared to yesterday. We'll be in the mid-50s for daytime highs. Clouds will overall win out, and we'll be tracking a few showers late this afternoon and into this evening. You'll notice our high temperature today only 56. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, 56 again, and breezy sunshine returns Thursday with high temperatures in the upper 50s. So still remaining a little bit below our seasonable average of 61 degrees, but overall pretty quiet weather as we round out this week.
I've always seen your spark, your dedication and humanity.
But today, as you're being challenged more than ever, I see heroes.